Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. We are here live at Headset. I'm here with Liz, and we're going to go over 420 data as we approach 420, the biggest cannabis holiday out there. We're going to dive into these reports and see what kind of fun stuff we come up with. So this year, 420 is going to fall on a Saturday, full-blown weekend for the first time ever. So will the festivities spread into Friday night, or will consumers maintain reverence for the holiday and primarily shop on Saturday?
Wow, I know, that's the million-dollar question, right? I did use my best crystal balls to try and figure this out, so I did get out the really good crystal balls. Definitely Friday is a really big day, and I think since it seems like people are used to shopping on Friday, my guess is when we do the post-420 analysis, we've traditionally just looked at 420 because 419 really didn't show as much of a boost. My guess is that change will be a bit different this year. So if I were a retailer, I probably would be prepared for slightly higher sales Friday afternoon than a typical Friday, in addition to that Saturday.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I'm not sure if you're planning to go out on Fridays and see, but it could be interesting just to kind of see. I'm not even sure, are there different types of consumers that buy it Friday before than the ones that come in Saturday? I don't know. I think it would be really interesting. Really looking forward to that data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might have to go and just check it out and see what happens. Yeah, every state is different, so there's no clear correlation between market age and reaction to 420, implying that consumers' reverence for the holiday is driven by cannabis culture itself and not by the retail landscape. So you're not going to have mainstream advertisers driving more sales. It's basically going to be state by state, store by store. And previously you kind of mentioned that whether it's lip balm or otherwise, that one store may be doing something really well to drive some interesting product like chocolate covered espresso beans or whatever, and they may do really well at that one store, but that's just because that's what they focus on.
That was their initiative that year, yeah, and I think you can really see that people use different types of discounting strategies. We didn't get into it quite so much in this report, we just looked at sort of average discounts and stuff, but you definitely see some different discounting strategies that people try out.
And you know who you are. I'll be stopping by on 420 and talking to you in Soto. You know who you are. You're not using Headset. You run out of stuff all the time, and it costs money. The individuals that the companies that you're carrying aren't selling. Dose oil, for example, is a really inexpensive tanker at about $20 per gram. You guys sell out constantly, but you're not refilling because you're not using Headset.
What's that?
So there's some category trends for 420. Capsules and tinctures and sublingual categories commonly associated with health and wellness consistently see the weakest growth on 420. This aligns with the holiday focus on the more debaucherous side of cannabis use rather than medicinal. The vape pen categories is one of the few that saw a positive 3-year trend in 420 sales growth year after year after year. So this category has been steadily growing in the overall market share over time. So it makes sense that more and more customers choose to celebrate the holiday with a modern mode of consumption. So pre-rolls, we saw an increase in 2016 at 135%, and then 157% in 2017, 111% last year. Where do you think pre-rolls will lie this year?
Yeah, I think we're still definitely going to see a really large increase in sales. I would expect it to be, that 111% means it's about 2 times the size it was before. I think we will definitely see that this year as well. One of the reasons that what we see is unit volume of pre-rolls is the largest increase, but sales volume isn't, and the reason that's happening is because a lot of pre-rolls end up discounted during that time. So I think it depends on people's discounting strategies this year, but definitely, I think that by unit volume, again, that'll probably come out the winner.
Interesting. So they're selling more of them, but the revenue is so low because of the discounts.
Yeah. So I think, I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 170% increase in unit volume and 111% increase in sales volume because they are doing the discounting on it.
Interesting. When I eat edibles, I tend to eat a lot of them, and I get hungover, and so I drink a lot of coffee. Are you guys going to have a Nielsen report where there's coffee on 421 and show the...
Right? I hadn't thought of that, but that's definitely something we could look at. That would be a really interesting thing to know, for sure.
The day after, coffee sales just explode in all of the legal states.
Yeah, right? That would be for sure something cool to look at.
But it is interesting though, state by state, there's a little bit of a difference. So while there's an overall dip in sales for the days after 420, that dip appears to be driven entirely by Washington State. So broken out in state by state data, sales on 421 in both Nevada and Colorado are actually quite strong. Nevada saw sales at 114% of average Saturday, while Colorado was 112, and yet Washington is slacking. You guys are at 71%, Washington. What's up with that?
Yeah, that was tough to say. Again, the why is a little more difficult in transaction data. It could be that Washington did some really good sales that year. It could be that it's a holiday that's just more celebrated in Washington. I don't know that we looked at. We did look at categories a little bit. I think maybe this year we can do some analysis to try to figure some of that out.
So flower is fading. So when you looked at category sales, the balance stayed fairly consistent across the week, although flower had a pretty clear hangover effect.
So what we saw was on 420, flower looked like flower usually looks. Baskets similar to what they look like. After 420 though, we saw sales of flower and pre-roll dip a little bit more than the sales of other categories. So it could be, those are the things that are generally discounted that we see a lot of people picking up. So it could be they just kind of stocked up at that time. But we don't really see that dip maybe as much in other categories.
Interesting. So it says that users might buy more than what they can smoke on the day, or perhaps there's a bit of smoke out on the big day. It's not much, but the single percentage point gains from both edibles and vape pens might corroborate that. I think with the deals, people are probably getting a lot. So the conclusion is that the data on this report shows us that while there might not be an equal and opposite reaction to 420, there's a bit of a course correction after the big day. However, sales drops are as large as 30% might seem significant. The sales bonuses on the day of and in days leading up to 420 are more than make up for those drops. So that said, retailers shouldn't plan for the party to go on forever. Using the data to stock up on products that are the most popular on 420 in advance is wise, and of course, don't overdo it. So as noted in the main 420 report, flower is popular, but its sales spike have gone down over time. So here we see that the only significant decline is in a breakdown of category sales. The days following 420 could be good ones to get rid of less popular flowers with deep discounts. While it seems logical that sales figures would drop back to normal levels, given the special occasions buyers aren't coming back the day after, that doesn't quite explain the overall dip in sales. Headset suspects that regular customers have saved their splurging for the day of and perhaps even overbought, regardless the 420 effect. That 420 hangover effect is not a myth. So, it's either they're too hungover, they've just bought too much. I'm going to think it's the latter, because I know that I'm going out buying more than I need.
Absolutely. I think that's a really definitely part of the effect for sure.
And so the only thing we don't know is the coffee intake.
I know, I gotta look at that. That
Next
sounds
year's
interesting.
report,
Maybe
folks.
I can look at cannabis espresso beans. I don't know.
There you go. So anything else you want to add to this? Anything you expect or want to see, or something that we should see?
I think the report was pretty complete. I'm excited this year for the Saturday to see kind of how that affects sales, especially how it interacts with Friday. See some of those consumer trends. I think every year looks a little bit different as more and more people enter the marketplace, more and more products are available in different formats. I'm excited to see how the trends have shifted for sure.
Me too.
I can't wait to go check out the stores too. It's the first 420 I can go to stores, so maybe I'll see you at one of them.
You might. We're going to start our trip at about 9:30 in the morning. We'll finish about 2:30 nonstop, and so it's 20 stores on 420.
I want to thank my guest, Liz Connor, Director of Analytics at Headset. Liz, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge, your cannabis business podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.
Bye.